What is happening, beautiful people? How is everybody doing today? This guy, this handsome fella to my right, possibly your left, needs no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. This is, of course, Mr. Ben Belkin of Jack Wolf Knives fame. And we are blessed to have people like him in the community because we're kind of flush with knife makers who just kind of are also knife guys. Benny, along with a handful of others, Kev, Casey, David, they're knife guys who also happen to make knives. So, Benny, thank you for joining us, man.
Great to be here. Good to be on a stream with you again. It's been a little while since we hung out on the stream.
It has been a while, man, and it was a good one too. It was memorable for sure.
We had fun.
Yes, sir, we sure did, and we're gonna have fun today. Let's see who is in the chat right now. Looks like we've got a bunch of folks in here. Dan B007, what's happening, brother? Infamous Panda, love your name, dude. This panda's for you, homie.
Nice.
Good to see you. Leela, Anton Tony, good to see you. Rusty Knife Lover, what's happening, brother Rusty? Brother Mike, Lone Wolf, how are you? Mikey Mo, our good friend, brother Michael Morgan, is in the chat as well, along with Quentin Bundy. Jake, what's happening, Jack's Lungs? Good to see you, brother. Top Dog, Paper Tiger, Brand New American. Let's go, hobos. You got that right. I'm embracing the hobo lifestyle. Mike Jernak, Tony Boombots, Pocket Metal. What's happening? Zeman, brother Zeman, what's going on, man? Pretty fly for a knife guy. How are you doing, brother? Will be Ryan Walker. Alex is stuffing things. What's going on, Alex? Good to see you, brother. Grumpy Grunt, Ken Faulkner, Mike Jernak, and brother Todd's Second Supper Car. Stacy Bolster Blades. What's going on, Stace, my love? Theo Lord, Paper Tiger, Loot 10 TX. Loot 10 Texas, maybe? I don't know what's happening, my friend. Mike Reese, Sobix, what's going on, brother Scoot? The Juggling Ninja is in the house for sure. Never Enough Knives, who has the most truthful name in the chat. What's going on, Oregon Knife Guy? Demonoc, what's going on, brother? Tri-State, what's happening, Cole? About time, sheesh my ass. Go twist your mustache. Tom Bunny Hunter. That's a great name, dude. Honey Bear 85, what's going on? BC Jerbs, what's going on, Jerbster? Tina says hi. Well, Grateful Panic says hi. My name's just Bill, and my name is just John. What's going on, brother? Blumpkin, brother Blumpkin, what's going on? Dang Ross, hey, buddy, good time. Long time no see to you too, man. Edgy American, that would be that old Shane. Everybody knows Shane, my brother. Love you, dude. Good to see you. Tree Stabbing Troy, what's going on, brother? Brother Patina Britches, what's happening, Jared White? Good to see you, man. Scott N. Satu Dave, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us. Lacey Lace, what's happening? Laura Gillespie, hello to you, ma'am. Blaze Burger, what's going on, brother Blaze? Ed Harrison. Irish Bomb Squad, Dwayne K., Joe Stryker. And if I miss anybody, I'm greatly sorry, but there's a heap of y'all in here, which is absolutely awesome. Happy Haptics, what's going on, my friend? Or should I call you Patina Aguilera? Hangover is what's happening. Yeah, I heard you had a wild little 30th birthday night last night, Lacey Lace.
Ooh.
We got frequent updates on how things were going with her, which was cool. I hope you had a great birthday, ma'am. So this is all about knives and our right to carry said knives. This, of course, you guys by now know that this is all about what we can do to help Mr. Ritter champion his cause to get rid of basically stupid laws. And as big of, well, a huge positive influence and just a very active member of the community. I couldn't think of anybody better um, than Benny to join us, and I figured he would want to be involved in this because he, like I said, he's a knife guy.
I appreciate that. And if any of you guys have never met Doug, like he's in it for the right reasons. He really cares about this cause. You should feel good about supporting it. It's going to go towards the states where the fight is difficult. So we thank you guys for support.
For sure. And, I don't know about you. I know you're, just from what I know, you're a big traditional guy. You collect a lot of higher end traditional knives. And of course, the knives you make are traditional knives. So even though, I mean, I'm sure you've got automatics, but you don't maybe not carry one on a daily basis. And usually, for the most part, traditional slip joints, there's not a whole lot of laws against them. Doesn't it kind of blow your mind looking at other knives that you have and think that, hey, this is cool for me to carry, but somebody 2 hours away from me could go to jail for it?
Yeah, it's absurd. Honestly, it's absurd. Not only do you have state laws from place to place that are inconsistent, but sometimes within the same state, you have municipal laws that are inconsistent. And, most guys are carrying a knife for utility. That doesn't exclude the fact that you should have the right to carry one for self defense. And at the end of the day, it's not the knife that gets up and does something wrong. It's an
Yeah.
individual with an intent to harm. And it's really hard to, stop someone who has an intent to harm. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, these laws.
And if you look at the statistics, normally crimes involving knife violence are a crime of passion. It's what they just happen to be able to reach that knife at the time and go off. It's not like they were carrying the knife to, oh, I'm going to go stab this person.
Right.
It's usually whatever's convenient. I'm going to grab it and go to town.
Yeah, I would venture to guess the majority of them are kitchen knives.
Yeah, 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 100%. Or screwdrivers.
Right. Or a
And
hatchet. God
yeah,
forbid you're in the wrong, in the path of a hatchet. But I don't know. It's silly. It's silly. And, Doug is local here in Arizona. And so I've gotten to know him and, I've befriended him and we've been out to dinner a few times. I'm always interested in like what's going on legislatively for not only for my business interest, but also just personal interest.
right,
And what's interesting is that because these are knives and not firearms, when he goes to these legislatures, it's usually a bipartisan support for the bills he's trying to pass. Because a lot of times these laws affect minority communities because, statistically they're getting pulled over. And if they're carrying something they didn't know was illegal with no intent to harm, they're going to feel the brunt of the law. And so it's couched as criminal justice reform. And
yeah,
he's able to get bipartisan support. So I don't think it's like, should not be polarizing as a right versus left kind of political conversation. It's really not about that. It's just about having laws that are fair.
right.
and that I think with our community and with these laws, it shouldn't matter what political side of the spectrum you lean towards, because I think the laws that they're trying to change are unfair across the board for everybody.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's and I'm not going to get in the whole like cannabis argument or whatever, but it's kind of like that. We're state to state. This state it's legal, this state it's illegal. Like uh, with that, you kind of it's I don't know. With knives, it's just stupid because you could throw on your pants that has your slip joint in the pocket go visit your grandma in another state. Next thing you know, you get pulled over and you're in jail because you didn't realize that the knife you had in your pocket was illegal, and you might fit a description or whatever, and they're going to at least take you in as long as they can hold you for, and it's an inconvenience.
Right. And statistically, are we really making people's lives better by having these laws? There should be a law
No.
against this moth. Or are we causing more people more trouble than they deserve with these laws? Like
Right.
a law for the sake of a law is not a good law. And I think like switchblade laws are nothing more than the law for the sake of a law. Like they're not even defensible in any rational way, as far as I
No.
can tell. They're completely asinine.
And I think most of those came about as it was a cause for somebody to champion, anti-violence. I'm trying to get elected for this public office, and if I will promise to outlaw all switchblade knives, that'll get me however many votes.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Oscar, right here. Say hi to Oscar, everyone. He's my vicious Jack Wolf right here. Just hang out, bud. It's cool.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys that. Well, thank you, Shane. I appreciate you, brother. Hell yeah. Have a little panda. Oh, panda ass for that ass. I forgot to tell you guys that Benny's going to be joining us from the great outdoors.
Yep. It's finally, I know it's getting cool where some of you guys are at, but here in Phoenix, like finally we can come outside. So I'm just pleased to be sitting outside with a long sleeve shirt on. It's just been so damn hot.
Happy.
I know he doesn't look like a Jack Wolf dog. I got 2 kids. This is a family dog. He represents a compromise. But they live in your house, and then you grow attached. So this is Oscar, my ferocious guard dog.
Okay, so now you're gonna have to release a Oscar Jack model and have his face on the can.
Yeah, that's funny. Maybe for the kids.
Hell yeah! You can do one of those. Who is it that has the knives? You can like the wooden kit you can build with your kids or whatever. Put one out like that.
I think Spider Co. Right?
Yeah.
Wooden kit knife. Those things are cool.
Yeah, they are sweet. So, anything new in the world of Jack Wolf, man? Big time congrats on your success and accomplishments, dude.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Someone asked if it's a Bichon. Yes, he is a Bichon. So what's new? Well, I'm super excited about the release coming out November 18th, the Cyborg Jack, this one. And these designs I do where basically I don't show anybody them and I keep them a secret up until the launch. They're exciting, but they also give me a lot of anxiety because I have no idea from people's sentiment ahead of time whether I think it will be good or not. There was only about 5 or 6 people who ever saw this thing at all before I released it or released the announcement. But so far, I've just been taken aback by how stoked everybody is for this thing. Like my Instagram post hit 1,000 likes. First of all, I never thought that was ever going to happen at all, ever. And I was just blown away by how excited people are for this thing. And having been able to reflect on it, I think, there's more modern knife guys buying my stuff than I thought there would be in the beginning. I thought it'd be more of the slip joint guys. But I think in hindsight, I'm seeing, of course, there are slip joint guys that are buying them. But I think the slip joint guys are more tuned into the old fashioned stuff. And where I'm really getting people excited is now they can finally expand their collection with a slip joint when they're a modern knife guy,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have definitely converted a heap of modern folder dudes over to traditional patterns.
Yeah, and they just needed it done the way that's attractive to them,
Right.
And so when I drew this knife, I thought, like I'm drawing this one for the modern guys, but I had no idea if it would be well received, but like for sure it's being well received. Now, of course, like, the proof is in the pudding. We'll see how they sell, but I have every indication so far to believe that they should sell pretty well.
Oh yeah, I think your pudding's gonna be good, dude.
Now I also took a leap of faith on hot pink, but I think this looks great. I
Oh yeah, dude.
love these bright colors, and I think the community likes them too. So I'm really happy how that turned out.
Yeah, I've noticed there has been a trend towards like the brighter colored fat carbons and stuff here lately, and which I think it'll stick around as well because their fat carbon's making a very impressive product. So
They really, yeah. So I've got fat carbon. Here, let me get some of these out here. I've got. So this is a fat carbon product. This is called Toxic Storm, and this is the first time I'm using Toxic Storm. And when I was looking at pictures online, Toxic Storm is one of the ones where I was like, man, I'm not so sure how that's going to look because it's green and yellow. Like, it isn't blue, it isn't red. It's just not the two most popular colors, let's say. But when I saw it kind of in between the titanium bolsters, I was like, that just looks so freaking good.
oh yeah,
And so
and
this is a fat carbon product. Now, this is a product from Camo Carbon.
okay, right on.
They're an American manufacturer. Fat Carbon is in Lithuania. Just,
Yeah,
to get into the nitty gritty.
get down and dirty with it. Dude, I love the finish you have on your titanium on the bolster end cap. I think that's where some other companies in the past that tried to swing a modern traditional kind of failed.
Yeah, I love the dark blast. I believe that's an aluminum oxide blast. It just looks right, and it's all the little things that come together that made these what I want them to be and why I think guys like them. Right?
Yeah.
It's the materials, it's the finish, but it's also the fit, like the high quality fit.
Then the walk and talk.
The walk and talk. It's just like watch that thing jump.
Yeah, that's damn near Roadrunner half stop.
Yeah. and all the things we like, dead center, flat and flush. So it's all the things that make a nice slip joint combined with all the things that make a nice modern knife a nice modern knife.
Right.
And if any of those aren't there, it's something's missing.
Yeah, true that. And the that finish on the titanium goes sick with that satin grind, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like once I saw this finish, I was like, that's it. Like that works together. It's like it's like a recipe. Like you get all the ingredients together in the right amounts and then boom, it works.
Do you want to give us the backstory on what your inspiration was for that pattern?
Yeah, so this one, I sat down to draw and I took a different approach. So usually with my other products, I'm looking at pictures or knives I have of the classic patterns. And usually I draw the handle and then fit the blade inside. But this time I didn't start with anything in particular that I wanted to do, other than I'm going to draw a knife and I'm not following any kind of plan. So I drew the bolster and I drew the pivot geometry. And then I'm like, I just want to draw a blade that I think looks amazing. Just like a giant swoopy clip point looking thing. And I just drew it and I kept moving the lines around until it was exactly how I wanted it, And then so basically all that existed in the drawing was like from here forward, and it just had a square bolster. It didn't have this accent. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to rotate it and then draw a handle around it. And then I just kind of went with it. I just let my brain draw what it wanted without trying to match some existing pattern. And I was like, I want this to be angular. I don't want curves. All these other designs have all these curves, but my personal taste and my style has always been sort of angular. And so I drew this angular handle and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, you know? And I would move this line here, move that line here. And then I'm like, but the bolsters need to represent the angular look. So I like kind of, drew this angle, put the chamfer on it. And I just played around and just kind of went with what I wanted to go with. And I wanted there to be enough room here to pinch. And I wanted the nail nick to like be in the right spot aesthetically when it's closed and when the blade is open. Like it all has to look right. And then I wanted this thing to tie in way down here, and sort of just made it happen. I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it's a good looking. It's got a almost sinister look to it. I mean, it's classy, but a little bit evil.
Yeah, it's intimidating looking a little bit. It's like a classic looking knife, but I thought maybe a little more intimidating. And this is the first one that comes here and then comes up and then comes down. All my knives, you'll typically find they just go straight out from the
Right.
handle. So it's just like these little touches that I never probably would have thought to look at until I got more experience drawing. And this is one of my most recent drawings for sure. So there's like lessons learned from previous work that's incorporated into this.
Well, that's a damn good job for sure, man. Hey, would you got any plans to make an easy open in the future?
It's not that I wouldn't, it's, of course, there will be future variations of all my designs. And one of my goals is that when there's a future variation, something changes. So let's just take the sharpshooter here. This one wouldn't make sense for an easy open, right?
Right.
But other
No,
models
no.
might. But the next time I make a sharpshooter, it won't look exactly like this. Like something will change. And so there's certain patterns like the vampire. I don't know if you could squeeze the easy open on the vampire. It would be nice to easier open it, perhaps. That model here, let me get it out. The challenge with this model was to get it in sort of a slender form factor. Like this blade is rotated down to a further degree than other designs.
Right.
And because you have the center swell, your nail nick has to go somewhere in here. But the lower it gets, the weirder it looks when it's open. Doesn't
Right.
look right. You might be able to bring in this a little more and get an easier open on it. Obviously, the low drag jack would be the other one that would make a lot of sense. So yeah, I'd consider it.
Yeah, I think that'd definitely be cool because I mean, you know how those patterns go with GEC. People fall all over themselves for when they put out a easy open
Yeah,
variant.
I've noticed it to be kind of polarizing. Like guys love them or they hate them. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't ever try to feel that strongly about anything with knives because I just think they're pretty much all cool, you know. But yeah, I'm not against them. I'm not one of these guys that's like, oh, it can never happen. Not my style.
You keep an open mind.
I keep an open mind. There's some things I won't do like anybody else, but try to keep an open mind. This was a camel carbon material, toxic green. You can tell like camel carbon is more dense in its layering. Like
Right.
there's more layers in the same given amount of vertical space than what fat carbon does. Like their layers are more spread out.
Oh yeah, yeah. And both of them look good as hell though. I mean, just great looking
Ooh,
material.
look at that. I over traveled that one. That one almost got me good. We almost had a bleeder on the live stream.
Hey man, we're down for whatever around here.
We all
Not
got
for you to
band-aids
get
at
hurt,
home.
but hey, sensationalism, man. We got
Yeah.
blood.
It's like, oh, did you see what happened on John's screen?
What's up, BFF? Love you too, brothers. Appreciate you, man. Here's some panda ass for that ass.
Let's see if we got any questions. I'm going to scroll back through while
I
you.
think there's a good bit
Would he?
while we were running our mouths.
Oh, Bob was asking about a one arm. Bob, the one arm, I do get, for anybody who doesn't know, a one arm slip joint. The end of the blade has like a crescent moon shape cut out of it with like the end of it has a point. It's very hard to describe. Maybe you could bring up a picture. But the idea is that there's like a point sticking out of the blade and you can hook it on your belt or a shoelace and pry it open one-handed. Now, the diehard slip joint guys love those things, but they're a little bit unusual. My biggest concern with making something like that, especially as my production runs get bigger, is are enough guys going to buy that who are unfamiliar with slip joints? Like it's niche within a niche. And so from a business standpoint, that kind of thing scares me a little bit, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a thing. I do know it's a good conversation piece because I had what is it, the calf pin?
Yeah,
Um
calf pen.
and people would see me use it and they're, what's wrong with that knife blade? So you kind of go into the whole story of how that little feature came about or whatever, and they're like, oh, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I didn't know that. So but yeah, it's definitely a niche within a niche there.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of that, like I'll get requests from people for more obscure patterns and things like that. And I'm just like, down the road, I'd have more comfort to try something like that. But in the beginning, where I've got to try to keep things sort of in the sphere of general acceptance, I'm more leery about doing the oddball stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Bob's asking if the Easy Open requires a lighter pool.
Yeah, and then I think he said, well, the
Oh,
easy open. I mean, I don't think easy open makes it easier to open.
right.
So the pole could stay the same because now you've got more leverage because you've got more to grab. I would say a one arm. I would not want a real stiff pull on a one arm because you're already trying to leverage that open and to make it harder than it already is with one hand. I'd probably go for like a 6.5 on a one arm.
Yeah. I think that's one of the issues I had with the calf pin is the pull on it was a little bit strong, so you really had to get in there if you intended to use the one arm opening.
Yeah. The number 15 one arms from Great Eastern are just about perfect.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, if you ever drop one of those down into your pocket without a leather sleeve and then reach in there to get it, you'll never do it again.
You're gonna
Because when
poke the
that
hell out
needle
of that
goes
finger.
like inside of underneath your nail or whatever, oh my God, that sucks.
And Ian, sorry I missed your super chat a while back. I do remember the Bichon question. There's some
Yep.
panda ass for you.
There's some Bichon ass for you.
There's some Bichon ass and some panda ass. And I noticed where Ian said they love their Bichon. Does love really constitute throwing knives at your Bichon's head though, Ian? I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta ask you that.
Man, sometimes when he's like around me when I'm playing with the knives, I'm like, dude, you got to get out of here because I'm going to drop this thing on you and then I'm going to have to explain it to the vet and it's not going to be good.
Yeah, just ask Ian. Funny story.
Oh, really? That happened?
Exactly what you said happened.
Oh my God. Like my biggest fear whenever he's at my feet. What's everybody carrying today out there? What do you guys got in your pockets? Anybody have a slip joint today? If not, why not?
Exactly. I don't. And I don't because I don't own any anymore.
Uh,
I pretty much
well, that's a good
liquidated
reason.
my collection. I'm starting to build it back up a little bit. But I
It
had
feels
the
good sometimes to
it
slim
does,
it down.
man. It does. Got the Berg Blade Slim today and it's fantastic. I'm in love.
Dieter's got the proper. How do you like the proper, Dieter? Let's see here. What else we got? Real Steel Luna. Carrying a table of knives on my back, says Zach.
Zach, what's up, Zach, man? Good to see you, brother.
Z-Man, the QSP Hedgehog. How do you like that one? Any designs concerns with M390 as far as blade shape or thickness? Like a stainless. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. So these knives, mine are M390. They're ground extremely thin. I mean, anywhere from 8 to 10 thousandths behind the edge, hollow up real high. Some of them you can even flex them, but knock on wood, no one's snapping them or breaking them, and there's a lot of them out there now. So no concern as far as I can tell for performance of these knives. Of course, with a knife like this that doesn't lock, that's hollow ground thin, is meant for slicing. It's not meant for prying or torquing, you know. So as long as you don't misuse it, I can't imagine you're going to have a issue with performance. And it's interesting. There's a guy who recently bought a Vampire Jack. He's a sharpener, and he's been doing, like, he cuts cardboard till no end with that thing, and he's still working off the factory edge. And I think that's a testament to the blade geometry more than anything, because clearly the factory edge is not as sharp as when he bought it. But even with a dull, I don't know if dull's the right word, but duller factory edge, because the damn blade is so thin, you know, he's still zipping through that cardboard like it's going out of style, versus a knife with more robust geometry, which is going to be more rugged for misuse, but poor at cutting when the edge dulls. So kind of cool.
True that. Shout out to Zach Man for his super
Nice.
chat, and for brother Teo, my BFF, as well. And Teo says new flavor lemon garlic butter. Everybody, yummy meat, y'all.
Let's see. Oh yeah, everybody's telling us what they got. All kinds of cool stuff.
Yes, sir. Lacey Lace said she had a Sodbuster Junior, and that to this day, I think Sodbuster is one of my favorite traditional patterns.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Oh yeah,
Can't go wrong.
and very useful, and
Absolutely.
I mean, it's very unassuming, but it gets the job done. What's up, me with knives? How's it going there, Army? And oh, speaking of Bob from earlier, appreciate you joining us, Bob. It's good to have you here. And I'm gonna put this out there. When I know you've met Bob in person, right?
Yeah,
Ben.
Blade Show.
So, guys, Bob is a very handsome man. That is he is a fit devil. We got little fit devil. Bob is just the fit devil. He's a specimen for sure.
I like Bob's style. He's good taste in clothes. He's well put together. Yep. Bob's a classy guy. That's what he is.
I got the moral of the story, long story short, Bob's a stud, y'all.
He's a stud.
Yes.
He's a good guy.
Oh, let's see what else we got going on here. Oop, I went way up. All right, let's go back down. What's up there, Scoutmaster Avery? Good to see you, brother. Aquatics. That's an interesting name. I dig that. It makes me think of somebody swimming with Uggs on, though.
Anybody who's joining us recently, let's remember that we're doing this today to raise money for knife rights. So how does this work? Explain it. You know, frankly, I'm not quite sure how it works. How do people donate?
So you go to kniferights.org. And there's actually, all right, yeah. Javon's going to drop the link in the chat. You go there, you donate, and every increment of $10 you donate gets you a raffle ticket. And if you go ahead and do the $35 membership, you get 4, like right off the rip. So that saves you $5 there. But yeah, every $10 increment that you donate will get you a raffle ticket for the big, huge, humongous drawings that are going to be going down on, I believe it's the night of the 18th.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it'll be Saturday, 2 weeks from today, on Left on Over the Edge live stream. And then you email basically your proof of donation to kniveslive2021@gmail.com, and you're entered.
Very good. We appreciate you guys supporting Knife Rights.
Dude, there's been a huge outpouring of donations, and I know I mean, yeah, there's prize packs and stuff, but people aren't doing it just to win prizes. They're doing it to do something something they feel right about, and then the possibility of winning a prize is just a added bonus. I just think it's cool that I don't have any reservations when I see people donating for this and people from this community. I don't see it as a bunch of people out to try and win a prize. I think it is people basically outpouring their generosity for a good cause, and at the end of the day, they might win a prize pack.
Exactly. And everybody who's donated, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
100%. And everybody who's been soldiering it out and been in all these live streams, man, y'all are some troopers, dude.
What
Like,
time did it start? Does it? My wife asked. She's like, "Does it go overnight? Like, does someone have a live stream at 3 o'clock in the morning?" I'm
oh
like,
yeah,
"I
we're
think
on we're,
so."
we're on day 2, man. It started
Oh,
at 6 p.m. yesterday and went all through the night,
wow,
and then it'll end with Jared Neves starting at 6 p.m. tonight.
epic. Who had
Yeah,
the graveyard shift? Did JB have the graveyard shift?
I think he had one of them. Javon had a graveyard shift, Backpack B, Pocket Metal, Stevie. There were a bunch of killer dudes up all night running live streams.
I think I was asleep by 9:30.
I made it till about 4 a.m. Then I had to
Oh
crash
man.
out and go to work this morning, but it was good fun. There we go. Let's find him. Aquatics, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat. He says, I live in Pennsylvania. I can walk around with a 12-inch fixed blade, but I can't carry an auto, which is stupid. So I donated. Hey, that's a good reason to donate, man, because that's exactly what Doug's trying to do is get rid of stupidity like that. Have some panda
Now
for that
I
ass.
saw a video from Knife Thoughts Logan. He's in Pennsylvania, and didn't the governor just sign some kind of switchblade law? Someone educate us on that. I don't know when it takes effect, but I think knife rights was successful in Pennsylvania to a degree.
Yeah. Oh, Alex's and Knives and such. I saw you shred on the skateboard last night. Grateful Panic. I wasn't doing much shredding. I was just cruising around, but it was good fun, and it's good to see you, Alex. Ember 13, what's going on? Good to see you, brother. New here from Cali. I lived in Cali for a period of time. It was a pretty damn awesome experience.
Colors
Uh,
are illegal as of January, someone said.
Scoutmaster Avery said it signed last Thursday. And Z-Man said he thinks switchblades are allowed now.
Yeah, so think of how awesome that is for Pennsylvania, right? Well, like everybody deserves that.
Yeah,
So, like, and it's just evidence that Doug can get results, that this organization gets results. Like, I know for a fact, well, I can't say I know for a fact, but he told me, so out of the horse's mouth, like, he doesn't take a dime out of it personally, so he's not paying himself out of it. Doug has some designs that get made from makers. He's able to, survive off of that and do what he needs to do. So he's running knife rights to basically have something to do, A, and also B, to do something back for the community that gives to him,
yeah,
So it's not like throwing your money to XYZ organization that spends 80% of it on the executive board and like some of it trickles down, like pretty much as far as I can tell, all of it is going towards their efforts. And man, it's like, it's so much work to get these laws passed. They have to fly there, hire lobbyists, go to meetings, write up the legislation, negotiate. And then it's always at the last minute, getting jockeyed around by whoever's in power in these states. And it's just a ton of work for sometimes very little gain over time. Frustrating.
and you can testify from the side of someone who has knife designs being OEM that you ain't getting rich off of that.
No.
So I mean, he's making enough to live off of, and everything else goes into, like you said, getting rid of these stupid laws.
Yeah, yeah, he's probably close to my father's age, so he's an older gentleman. If you guys haven't met him, he could just be retired, but he's motivated, and he's got the experience, he's got the relationships. Like, there's not a lot of people who can run an organization like that effectively. That's just the bottom line. It's a lot of work, and you have to have a lot of patience and sort of be able to articulate why these things are important, and you have to be respected and appreciated by all different types of people in all different states. So it's not like we can just find anybody else to do that. So if like rights are important to you guys, and here's the other thing: if we don't get ground in our favor, we will lose ground over time. It's like today it's switchblades, tomorrow pretty soon we're Europe if we're not careful. So it's just a constant pressure pushing you this way, and if you're not applying pressure this way, you're going to lose ground.
Yeah, I think it's bringing up, us losing ground. I mean, yeah, this is knife rights for the U.S., but it's awesome to see all these international people in here, like, shoulder to shoulder with us. Like, yeah, this is bullshit, even though it ain't, helping us any. We're here to help y'all.
Yeah. Well, and I have a lot of European customers because the slip joints are legal to carry. So, it's a lot of work and sometimes difficulty getting the knives over there. But to me, it's worth it because I want them to have access to, really cool products that they can legally carry over there. Yeah. And I just know that they're responsible enough to own and carry all the other stuff we can own and carry here, but they don't have the legal right to do it. And I can't imagine there's any one of them going, well, you guys shouldn't either, versus them saying, like, we wish we could carry those too,
Right.
So it's like, we can't take it for granted.
No, for sure. And I appreciate that, Jervster. Jervster says these Canadians stand with you, Mr. Grateful Panic.
Yeah, Canada's a great example.
Mr. Grateful Panic's my dad. You can just call me Grateful Panic. And Leela says we are all one community. That's
no
yeah, no doubt for sure. And that's like I said earlier, Benny's not, a knife maker that happens to be into knives. He's a community member. He's a knife guy that happens to make knives,
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could actually make a knife. I guess the right way would be to produce them.
you are the
I make them happen.
You are the creator, I say.
Yeah. One of these days, if I get to a point where I can delegate some of the work, because I do everything myself except make them. If I could delegate some of the work and free up some of my time, probably a pipe dream, but I'd like to spend some time with these slip joint makers I know, the custom guys in their shop, and learn to make stuff, and just do it, because I think that would help my knowledge and also be really cool to do.
Oh yeah, dude. So fingers crossed, everybody, that one day there may be some actual Ben Belkin customs out there on the market.
Yeah, that would be super interesting.
Dude, that would be sick. Some like custom handmade Jack Wolf knives.
Yeah, and I've got my patterns, of course.
Right.
So I could do a custom cyborg jack that I made, and I could do like materials that are more boutique that I can't source for mass production. That would be
right.
Really neat.
Like some Westinghouse or.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you, Aquatics. Some panda, little tags hiding his ass. It's like a little G string going on there. I appreciate you, brother. Alex's Knives and Such says only one thing I saw on this is bang bangs are a faster way to self-defend yourself than a knife, and bang bang can be from a greater distance as a knife isn't, and that is correct. That is very true.
And I don't think it should be like a one or the other thing,
no.
Right? Like, not everybody's comfortable with that. I'm a believer in the right to defend yourself from someone trying to take your life from you. At the end of the day, like, do you have a duty to retreat if someone's trying to kill you, or do you have a duty to defend yourself? Right. And so whatever is at your disposal to protect yourself from death, it should be something you are allowed to use in that very unique but possible situation. So, are there better tools than others? Depends on the context, depends on the individual. But don't take any of my options away from me. How about
Oh,
that?
exactly. And it,
You know?
depends on the situation. Because, I mean, what you know, God forbid anybody's ever in that situation, but I mean, in the rational human's mind, it's the least amount of force necessary for you to end up alive at the end of the day. You don't go into a situation like, oh, you mess with me, I'm just going to kill you. No, I just, what Bob Marley said, he who fights and run away lives to fight another day. Like it's not it's about going home to your family at the end of the day. It's not about exterminating people.
Right, exactly. Usually the easiest way to avoid trouble is not to look for it.
Right, exactly.
The best weapon anybody has is right in between your ears,
Yep.
because that'll keep you out of trouble more than anything else. But I think at the end of the day, laws that are preventing people, I think the way to look at this is not so much like, hey, let me take that back. There's two ways to look at it. Either A, you're trying to prevent me from having tools I need to defend myself, or B, you're criminalizing a tool I use for utility, you know?
Right.
And so it's like, you shouldn't be criminalizing a tool I use for utility. And you also shouldn't be restricting me from having access to items I could use to defend my life. It's like both. And most people are getting in trouble, not because they misused a knife when they were trying to defend their life. It's because they're getting pulled over and they have a utility knife that they didn't know they couldn't have.
Right.
Which is absurd. And then they get caught up in the justice system. It costs them thousands of dollars, fines, jail time, a permanent record, all this shit over something that's so asinine. It's just wrong.
And something that 99% of the time had an agenda behind it, had nothing to do with whether they actually thought the law needed to be made. It's what they thought the outcome would be for them if they
Right.
pushed for it.
Right. It's like, oh, we got an easy slam dunk here. Let's prosecute this guy. It's another, victory for our office. But it's like, that's not how we should get victories for your office.
No. Get victories for your office by getting the legit scumbags off the street.
Exactly. So hopefully, these types of events help raise awareness for what it really takes to get these laws changed. That's, if someone ever has, I don't know if Doug was on anybody's stream yesterday, but that's like an interesting conversation, is like, what does it actually take to fix this? And the answer is a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of human resources,
Yep.
And it's like, man, and I'm sure there's two fronts. There's the, like, we're going to change what's already there, but we also have to thwart what's being proposed by people who don't understand. And once something is a law, it's so damn hard to get it changed, So I'm sure a lot of what they do is just thwarting bad laws that are being proposed by people who are looking to, gain the opportunity to take advantage of our community for an easy, like you said, political soundbite.
Yep. And that's the vast majority of it. And so is that worth putting other people's livelihood and freedom in jeopardy? And it's not. I'll answer that.
Nope.
Oh. BC Juror says, I draw the line when someone gets hammed up when they have a box cutter in their bag that they use for work. And that, I mean, it happens every day. Dan Brock, what's up, dude? Good to see you, brother. Tom Weingart, Joe Kasparek, Freaky Keith, Pocket Metal and his fish sticks. He said, Pocket Metal said, when you pull out a fish sticks, people know what's up.
I mean, fish sticks are good. Some tartar sauce.
A little tartar sauce for the Gorton's fishermen. What's up there? G Bizzle. What's happening, man? So I get we're winding down here. I think Kevin is next. Correct,
Yep,
John?
I'm actually
Yeah.
headed on to his stream after yours.
Oh, right
So you
on, right
guys get
on.
another hour of me.
We'll
So
we'll get 2 hours of Ben Belkin. Hell
yep,
yeah, man.
Ben and Oscar. So hey, if you guys think of any questions you want to ask between now and then, you'll have another chance.
Yes,
How
sir.
many? Let me ask a question to the audience. How many of you guys have been on this thing since it started and have not wavered? Because you guys should get something special.
I feel pretty strongly that Todd Carr has been, unless he took a nap at some point when I was either asleep or at work. Um,
I mean, if you dozed off for 15 minutes because you couldn't keep your eyes open, but you were at the screen, I'll give you a pass on that. But if you like went to bed, turned off the light, tucked yourself in, and then woke up and got back on, that doesn't count.
put on your little wave machine and
Right.
Dan Brock, not me. I slept like a baby all night. Yeah, I missed see the first. Oh, Anton Tony, Lefty EDC is gonna be the next stream. I missed the first, I think, 3 streams because I was still at work yesterday. Then I caught as many as I could up until like about 4 a.m. and then kind of lurked today at work with my earpiece in.
Let's see. Some people are answering. So Rusty, you might have said it. Rusty is hanging in there, and then Paper Tiger missed 5. Anton's almost all of them. Keith the Freak in and out, but still been there. The really dedicated will be rewarded with a nap. 36 hours, Dwayne, no eyes shut. How are you doing it, Dwayne? Have you had like a pot of coffee, or are you just like good at staying awake?
Or is it methamphetamines?
I was gonna say, are you committing felonies?
Tim Z said Ethan's feet pics should be raffled off. He keeps those close to the chest, man. He doesn't reveal his feet pics. So that would be a hell of a prize. I think it'd bring a lot of money in.
You guys are awesome for hanging out. How
Like
cool
for
would it be?
sure.
Now, I'm gonna throw this out there, guys. Blade show in Atlanta. A lot of guys go, and we're all hanging out here. We could all be hanging out for real there. So, maybe if it means there's a few knives you don't buy in the year, but you go to Blade Show, go to Blade Show. It's so freaking cool. And if you're not into like the real big shows, pick one of the smaller ones. Blade
Yep,
Texas, Blade West.
and there's it was the New York Custom Knife Show, but it's in Nashville now, coming up on 18th and 19th of this month. So
Yeah, I'm not going to that one. I was interested in it. It's a smaller show. It booked up really fast, but it sounds really cool. Sounds like a lot of fun.
yes, supposedly it's kind of. I mean, it's even smaller, I think, than Blade West, but more like an intimate, where you can just sit there and just talk with the makers and stuff. Whereas Blade Show in Atlanta is kind of hustle bustle, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you get more of a chance to get to know people outside of the show than during it. But in Atlanta, but you're right about the smaller shows like the Gathering in Vegas. That one, it's more intimate and it's a much better chance to actually get to know people.
yeah,
But it's just with Atlanta, there's a lot of people there, so you're gonna have a better chance to at least meet everybody.
Yeah,
in person and forge a face-to-face friendship there.
Yeah, this past year was epic. The amount of people that you knew but didn't know that were there, it was insane. Because the first year I went was 2019, and I think I met maybe 4 or 5 people max, and this year it was like, I mean, you can't count them on both hands and both feet, and after that I suck at counting. So. Aberdeen Blades. I think that every time people says the gathering, a gathering of knife junkies, forget the gathering of juggalos.
They're probably more or less more similar than we would think.
Probably so. We're all fanatical about something, right? G said, is Leela a turd burglar? I don't know. I can't answer that. Hopefully there hasn't been a whole lot of turd burgling going on in the chat.
You never know.
Oh, I think I saw the shredders. There they are. What's up? Jonathan, Ezekiel, what's happening, fellas? Good to see y'all. It's a great day to be alive, ain't it? Rodney Pearson? Heck yeah. Well, Ben, it was an absolute honor to have you on. Good to have you back on alive again. And I appreciate you, man. And like I said, I'm proud as hell of your success and accomplishments, man. You're doing big things, and it's nice to see one of us, getting somewhere and putting out some amazing products. What's up, brother Chris? Good to see you, man.
I'm happy to do it. It's been a lot of fun. People are extremely supportive and kind and encouraging, and that makes me highly motivated. The feedback I get from you guys, the kind words, I don't let negativity bother me or get me down, but when I get the positive feedback from everyone, it's highly motivating. So I couldn't do it without you guys. I appreciate you. I can't thank you enough for the support. I'm always here. If anybody has a question, needs anything from me, I'm real approachable. Just let me know what you need.
That's one thing I can vouch for you. I mean, you have any issues with your knife, that's the big thing right there. You can talk to the man himself, and he will make it good. I mean, he pulled a whole release because he wasn't happy with the quality, and so that tells you something right there, because that's taking money out of his pocket.
Yeah, it was the right thing to do, right? But boy, did that cause problems on my side of the table. But those are my problems, not your problems, And I was able to sort it out, because with effort, you can solve any problem, more or less. So,
and that shows character, and that shows which people knew you before they knew your knives. They knew and trusted you, and when you've got that going for you, and then you back it with an insanely good quality knife, like, you can't lose. So.
Well, I'll keep plugging away.
Well, we sure appreciate it, man, because we love your knives. They're absolutely fantastic. And again, thank you, buddy, and thank all of you guys for joining us. Get on over to kniferights.org and donate, and enter for a chance to win some amazing prizes. And head on over right now and get Ben Belkin episode 2 over on Lifty EDC's channel, and we'll see old Ben and Kev over there. Again, man, I appreciate you greatly, and it was good to see you again, and look forward to seeing you here in a few minutes.
All right, brother. Let's do it again soon.
Yes, sir. Will do. I'll be in touch. Love you, man. Take care.
Take care, everyone. See you in a bit.
Love you guys. Remember to get out there, EDC your ass off, and do something nice for someone. Y'all have a great rest of the Knives Live. I love y'all.